So the Air Force, I deployed 3 or 4 times with when I was flying the Block 50 Viper, and deployment meant to an overseas base in Southwest Asia. So think Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, areas like that. Of all the deployments I did with the Air Force, only one was planned. We knew about one deployment to Saudi Arabia. We knew when we were going to have to depart, and we tentatively knew we were going to be gone for about 90 days, and we adhered to that schedule. The other deployments were very short notice. So in the Air Force, unlike the Navy, we had to kind of be ready to deploy at any time. In fact, in the Block 50 squadron I was in, now this is 1996, 7, 8, whatnot, we actually carried beepers, if you guys remember, like the doctors used to
Yeah, yeah.
carry around. And if the beeper went off, our mission statement was that from the time that thing went off, we were 72 hours away from conducting war off of any 8,000-foot runway in the world.
Wow.
And we tested that theory several times. And so literally you had to be prepared and be of the mindset that that beeper could go off. The flight schedule was canceled. We actually had to pre-pack bags. We had to keep pre-packed bags at home and ready to go. And we all did that. The squadron worked very, very well together on that. So instead of having this kind of stair step building block workup approach that the Navy did, the Air Force had to kind of practice everything all the time.
Right.
Which was just, you always had to be ready to go. And we had a pretty broad mission statement in the Block 50, even including close air support at the time. I don't know if they still do that. It was kind of silly, to be honest, in my opinion. But as far as the suppression of enemy air defenses, that mission, strike missions, and our air-to-air capability, we didn't necessarily build up. We just practiced all of them all the time.
Mm.
So so that was kind of the mindset of the Air Force. You were just always, knowing that you were 72 hours away from disappearing to the other side of the world. So that's kind of the mindset. And every other Air Force squadron was kind of geared the same way, all the tactical squadrons. So occasionally we would have the opportunity and be invited to go to Red Flag at Nellis Air Force Base and explain kind of what this is, because a lot of people have heard the term. And it's a gathering of squadrons, and they used to run Red Flag and Green Flag. I don't believe Green Flag exists anymore. Could be
All right.
wrong.
Okay.
Check with some of your other guests about that. Green Flag was strictly U.S.
Yeah, the
assets
ground,
only,
wasn't it?
so it would strictly be. It really wasn't mission specific as much as it
Oh,
was.
okay.
It was solely U.S. assets. So,
Right.
and also I believe at Green Flag they also ran some missions at night. Now,
Mm.
I never participated in a Green Flag. They were very rare that they occurred. Red Flag was interesting in that we would generally have, they would invite international guests. There was one time we flew with a squadron of Chilean F-5s, which they had kind of a rough
Nice.
start, but then they got up. We kind of how to integrate them. Great guys. They had a great attitude, very grateful to be there. And it's a huge honor for a country to get an invitation. This is the State Department uses this
Yeah,
for
good.
the Chileans to get invited to come to a Red Flag, even though they weren't flying like a new sophisticated airplane. They were flying F-5s. Was a huge deal. They had reporters following them around. I mean, this was national news back home in Chile, and they were great guys. Once we got to know them, great guys. Loved flying with the Chileans.